Today we celebrate the feast of St. Cosmas and Damian, two martyrs who were martyred during the Diocletian persecution because of they would not worship the gods of the king. And so they are known as the patrons of medicine and pharmacy. And it's, when the powers to be are against you, many times there are martyrs. And on this day, we recall these two great saints of the early church whose lives were lost during a persecution. But in the first reading today and yesterday, we have the story of Darius, who allowed for the rebuilding of the temple in Jerusalem in the return of Israel's exiles. And it's sometimes the things are in your favor and sometimes things are against you. This was not a Jewish king, but he saw the needs of the people and he allowed for the exiles to return and ordered the rebuilding of the temple. Sometimes the government can be for you and sometimes against. And, in today's day, we ask these questions of ourselves. Is it for us or is it against us? And it's for another time for us to think. But we have the freedom to celebrate and to live our faith, as did Cosmas and Damian. And they were two who ministered to people, cured many people of their illness, but they refused any payment. They said, what God has given us as a gift should be used freely for the benefit of others. These great saints were able to discern that the gifts they received were not because they were good or because of anything that they had done. This was a gift from God, and they offered it in return to those who needed it. They are the patron saints of medicine and pharmacy. And I think it's important for us here in Pittsburgh, particularly in this Oakland neighborhood, among all these wonderful hospitals in the medical profession, to pause, to think about the science of medicine, but also the science of the saints. I think that when I was up at Duquesne, this was a day when the pharmacy school made it a particular point to come and offer the students the opportunity to go to Mass, and they would always participate fully in the Mass, and then afterwards the dean would have a little reception for them so that they would be able to recognize that their profession that they were preparing for in science was wedded to the profession of the science of the saints. To put those two together, I think, is very important. All this knowledge, it comes from a God who loves us. And to say that science and faith are in competition or contrary to one another, I think is missing a very important point. As we bring the two together, what marvels can be worked. The science of medicine, the science of saints are not in competition and are not opposed to each other. But working hand in hand, we can minister to each other and uncover and develop the many gifts that God has given to us, particularly in this area, so heavily involved in medicine. We ask for the intercession of Saints Cosmas and Damian, for those in the professions of medicine and pharmacy, and on those who are under their wonderful care, that through God's gifts, we may recognize how close God comes in healing, in mercy, and in love.